Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Edelstein here with this week's installment of Rabbi E in 3, brought to you, as always, by MEOR DC. Where can you find us? On Facebook at MEOR DC or our website, MEORDC.com. Check us out, learn about our programs. Okay, it's a happy day for the USA. We advanced to the round of 16, our soccer team, World Cup. Many of you and us and me fanatically or otherwise following it. So it's a day that the USA advances to the next stage. But in this week's Torah portion, unfortunately, it's not a happy day because Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, does not advance to the next stage, to the land of Israel. What am I talking about? This week's Torah portion is Chukas, like how I tied it in there, right? Chukas in the book of Bamidbar, in the book of Numbers, and it has at its center what often is described as an enigmatic, difficult to understand incident. It's the sin, the transgression of Moshe Rabbeinu, striking the rock to bring water forth for the congregation instead of speaking to the rock. What's going on? Well, it's at the end of the 40 years. The Jewish people are about to enter the land of Israel. Miriam, the great prophetess and righteous woman, dies, and the well that had traveled with the Jewish people miraculously from a rock stops because it produced water in her merit. Why that is another question. But it stops. She dies. It stops. They have no water to drink. Now, one would think maybe that the Jewish people at this point, even though it's a new generation, still would have trust in Hashem and not complain, but they complain. And they go to Moshe and say, give us water. Let me read to you now quickly over here. So they need water. Why did you bring us out to Egypt, from Egypt? There's no water to drink here. Hashem spoke to Moshe saying, take the staff and gather together the assembly, you and Aaron your brother, and speak to the rock. It was going to be the same rock that had given water before, that a well had gushed forth from before, but it had stopped. Now Moshe says, speak to the rock before their eyes, that it shall give its waters. You shall bring forth water for them from the rock, and give drink to the assembly and to their animals. Moshe took the staff before Hashem as he had commanded them, as he had commanded him. Moshe and Aaron gathered the congregation before the rock and said to them, listen now, you rebellious ones. Are we going to bring forth water from this rock? Then Moshe raised his arm and struck the rock with his staff twice, and water came forth. Now, we don't have time in 3 minutes to go through all the different details. What was Moshe's sin? Well, and it was because of that, Hashem says, because you failed to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, you're not going to bring this congregation into the land. What was Moshe's transgression? He was told to speak to the rock, and he hit the rock. Why did he do that? If you look at Rashi, the people were crowding in on him. He couldn't find the exact rock. They said, what matter? What rock? What does it matter what rock it is? Get water for us. And that's when Moshe said, you rebellious ones, can we bring forth water for you from this rock, meaning any old rock? It was a specific rock he was looking for. And then he tried to talk to one rock. It didn't work. He found the exact rock, but I'm oversimplifying, but he strikes the rock and water comes forth. Okay, now, what was the actual transgression? He struck, he didn't speak. But it still, is it not a sanctification of God's name? Water comes forth miraculously. Okay, it's not talking. And there are many, many ways to understand this. And the great commentators are puzzled in certain ways. We're going to go with Ramban Nachmanides. Nachmanides says the sin, the real failure to sanctify God's name wasn't that Moshe got angry or impatient or scolded the Jewish people. Those are other ideas brought out. But in the language, he said, are we, meaning Aaron and me, are we going to bring forth water from this rock? He didn't say Hashem. It was that simple. And it wasn't because, remember, Moshe lacked any faith. It was the heat of the moment. He didn't choose his words correctly. And it might have given the impression, as Ramban explained, that they were bringing forth the water and not Hashem from the rock. Now, I've glossed over a lot of things, but we got to go. It's over 3 minutes, and we're already getting ready for the Belgium match, the USA on Tuesday, so I got to go. But our words have to be weighed and guarded, and really the way we use them. We might not be judged as harshly as Moshe was on his righteous level, but we're supposed to sanctify God's name with our actions of deeds of righteousness and our words that increase our own emunah, our own faith in Hashem, and that of others. We say Baruch Hashem, and we really mean it. Hashem runs the world. Thank you for all the goodness you bring us, Hashem. I got to go. I'm way out of here. Good Shabbos.